and viewers, the truth is out now. And in part 4, which we are reading the allegations of Times Now, we are now going to start revealing the parts of the report wherein the ED has itself analyzed the time period of allegations against Times Now with raw data sourced from BARC. And they've debunked the narrative which has been floated so far. This is absolutely, exceptional work by the ED. What they have done is that they've looked at the time period of the allegations against Times Now. They've looked at the allegations on Times Now. They've looked at the reports of the evidence against Times Now or complaints about Times Now. And what they've done is they have sort of analyzed it vis-a-vis the time period and looked at the raw data and said, what are we looking at, viewers? So we can move on to page 107. In page 107, it says, very importantly, that from a plain reading of these show cause notices and replies therein, it is apparent that there were 3 video clips of panel households, wherein the panel households were supposedly indicating malpractices on the viewing of Times Now. In this part, page 107, it also mentions there was further raw data analysis which showed abnormal increasing time spent in watching Times Now vis-a-vis other English news channels. The ED says clearly out here, viewers, and the next part is the time period. Their words are interesting. They say the time period of this alleged malfeasance on the part of Times Now. These are the words of the ED, viewers. They talk of alleged malfeasance, very strong words by the ED, not my words. They say the time period of the alleged malfeasance on the part of Times Now coincides with the very period taken in the BARC audit report. In this regard, it may also be added that the viewership of English news channels is very limited and even few compromised households can increase TRP manifold. What does this mean? This means, viewers, simply put, that the Enforcement Directorate has done some very, very detailed work. They have gone so far as to analyze the time period of allegations against Times Now, corroborated that with the raw data sourced from BARC, and only then spoken about alleged malfeasance. And so essentially what this means is that the Enforcement Directorate has done some deep dive analysis of viewership irregularities of Times Now before talking of alleged malfeasance. Shravan, they have taken their time, they have gone through the process, and then they have made certain observations. I repeat, not conclusions, but certain very worrying observations. What do you think, Shravan?
Well, in fact, they go into
very strong observations.
Very strong observation that is purely based on the investigation that they have carried out and what they have gathered during the investigation. Once again, to underline the point that they've not come to any conclusion. And exactly, if I can quote from the chart sheet, where they are saying further investigation in this regard is under progress.
So
that is what they are saying, which means that it is still under progress. They are still waiting for those very videos that were basically asked. Important to point out here is that there is a communication that goes out between BARC and Times Now. In fact, dates have also been put out of the show cause notices that have been issued.
3 or 4 up and down messages go, but that trail goes dark after December 2017.
Yeah, there is no response, barring one reply that has come in from the Times Now network.
Have they responded to us, to our email?
No, they haven't.
Okay.
They have.
You're talking about what they responded to.
They've basically what has been written here in the chat sheet, and as I understand, communications have gone out. And I've also gone through the annexure of this particular chat sheet, in which there is the communication that goes out between the Enforcement Directorate and BARC, where Enforcement Directorate is plainly requesting BARC to provide information because it is crucial for the forensic auditors.
Very critical. Very
essential, because later in the course of the day we'll try and explain why it becomes so very critical for the forensic audit report, and how does the final forensic audit really look like when you have instances of malpractices, because there are controls that are to be applied. So the entire picture would have been very, very different, and this is exactly what they are referring to. Perhaps in the course of the day we'll try and explain how the auditor is basically asking this question. What is it that the Enforcement Directorate's auditor had to say when they were provided with this information?
I want to place this for our viewers, Rhythm, because the BARC, Parambir said, and I believe that, whatever be your corporate battles, you must never bring the truth into the picture or try to distort the truth. Times Now went all out to propagate lies against Republic TV, and they constantly said that the BARC chief favored Republic TV. They said ex-BARC chief favored Republic TV. Why would BARC favor Republic when the final TRP report from the ED says, and it says that a raw data analysis showed abnormal increasing average time spent in watching Times Now? The alleged malpractices which the BARC was investigating was not against Republic, it was against Times Now. Where do we come into the picture? It's between BARC and Times Now. They know, they must share the data with the Enforcement Directorate, but where do we come into the picture there? Times Network publication outlet said that the BCCL sent a notice to BARC complaining that Times Now TRP was reduced for their channel. But the final TRP report says, and I'm not saying it, that the time period of these alleged malfeasance, very, very strong words. Actually, these are words which are rarely used by investigating agencies, and I'm only quoting it verbatim, viewers. I don't bring subjectivity into my reporting, especially not on matters like this. It says that the time period of the alleged malfeasance on part of Times Now directly coincides with the period taken in the BARC audit report. So which means there was a period when the malpractice was being observed, it was being followed. That time period was co-located with the raw data. There was an attempt to put the two together and then get the truth out. And that's when obviously there's a pattern which has been seen. However, the ED says we're not taking a final position on this yet because we're still awaiting more information. So they're awaiting more information on this. The moment it comes, probably they will give more information out. But who indulged in the real malfeasance? As of now, it's the ED which is asking questions on Times Now, not on Republic. Yes, please. Niranjan, you want to add something?
Just one question.
Have you heard from Times Now yet?
I still have not heard.
You have written an email to them?
Absolutely. Okay. The email's been written at 10.
And you will carry them live if they come on air?
Absolutely.
Okay, we'll send an OB van to them if they want.
We shall. We shall give all the logistical help they need.
Logistical help they need for that. Yes, Niranjan.
Arnab, the mention from page 107, the time period of these alleged malfeasance on part of Times Now coincides with the period taken in the BARC audit report. Another very serious question, Arnab. If this coincided with the report that reflected in the BARC audit report, then conveniently one channel's data was not even considered in that report. So it raises larger questions of a cover-up, perhaps just some questions that arise on why this never reflected in the report that was claimed by the Mumbai police.
Yeah, and Niranjan, every organization has its own way of functioning. We do ours, and we know that the nasty tricks which were followed by other channels, and somebody telling us that Arnab Republic, please send your reporter outside Arun Puri and Times Now's office, need to ask questions like how they were barging in front of your car 2 years back. This message has been kindly sent to us by Pradeep 972, that's Twitter address. Pradeep, appreciate what you've written to us, but you know, we have our own standards. We don't need to do to others what they do to us. That is not what this is about. What we are putting this about, we don't care about, you know, who benefits, who loses. We just want the truth out. We want the truth out. And we have therefore followed the more appropriate procedure of sending written emails and telling them that we will carry their point of view. I think people would respect that approach. We are not vindictive in our approach, and we just want to know who indulged in the malfeasance. Times Now had amplified the Mumbai police charge sheet, and they said that I paid 40 lakhs to Parthav Das Gupta to rig the TRPs. I didn't have 40 lakhs in my account ever. But the final TRP report says that there was no financial trail to connect the payment of monies by Republic. The report talks about Times Now's questionable ratings, and it says, quote, the viewership of the English news channel is very limited, and even few compromised households can compromise the TRP, which is correct. We've always known that. So why isn't Times Now covering the ED charge sheet alleging a malpractice of their viewership? That is a question to ask viewers. I have part 5 coming in just a moment. Shawan wants to add into this. Yes, Shawan.
Just one more interesting aspect that finds a mention in the Enforcement Directorate's charge sheet, that is about the collusion with Mumbai police, because here, once again, Arnab, BARC apparently had written to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, in which they categorically stated that there are no irregularities by Republic TV after the audit report and no action taken by BARC post-audit report. The question here is that why were they hiding this? There are no irregularities by Republic TV. They are now saying this. When this question was asked long back, there was no real response really coming in.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter here is that the enforcement directorate once again making it very clear that all of this has been taken on record. As far as Republic TV is concerned, the letter has been also taken on record. The letter written by BARC to the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting.
Completely. I want to tell you viewers that Parambir, I just want to show you the shots. Parambir has been running away from Republic. Like he sees us, he sees a ghost, he runs away, he tries to hide. He thinks we're going to bite Sushil.